Marmon?
Ja, that's like a
Language contains the world of a people, not just the world we see, but the world beyond, the world of our ancestors. And we believe that our languages are voices of the land.
Well, language is who I am. It's, when I say Resqua Sintiana Smukaka, that is my identity. It's who I am.
Our people used to speak several languages traveling up and down the coast.
We didn't lose our language before. It was taken from us. So there was a way where a lot of our elders, they wouldn't speak the language and they wouldn't encourage their children to speak the language. So that put a real, regression into the progress of our language. But now there seems to be this uprising.
FirstVoices.com is a suite of tools to assist with the documentation and learning of BC First Nations languages. So we understood a need for a technology to house our BC First Nations language data that would be accessible, but that we would be in charge of that data. And communities themselves would curate and own that data. John Elliott and Peter Brandt were the two central people to the creation of FirstVoices.com. They both worked together at the Hlewinuk School. Peter was really involved in technology and teaching the students about computers, and John, of course, had been teaching the language for a long time.
Initially, John Elliott and I envisaged it as a repository for text, sound, pictures, and video.
A new age of technologies back then, which was just digitalizing everything that was already written but needed to be put into a digital form so people could get hold of it and access it. And the archive material wasn't sitting on some shelf in some office where nobody could access, so we wanted to make it more open.
We had the initial vision of taking that to the web at a time when web-based applications weren't that common.
Back in the early 2000s, to be thinking of not only how do we get First Nations or Indigenous languages accessible on the internet, but thinking about how do we build technology with these languages as the focus. That's really a trailblazing thought process to have to go through. It really shows that First Nations people have always been at the cutting edge of technology.
First Voices was a really important technology for First Peoples to support because so many BC First Nations across BC could benefit from it. And instead of all of us going out and working with technology companies to individually build something that we would likely run out of money for, that would quickly become obsolete, we chose to work together and to have one software that was designed for our situation, where we have a lot of languages, a lot of dialects, tons of orthographies, the need for keyboards, and we addressed all of those things at once. And it's something that we, as an organization, committed to building, but more importantly, committed to maintaining, to make sure all of that language data would remain accessible for many years to come.
So right now, there are over 70 language sites for BC-based First Nations languages on First Voices. It's representative of 33 of the 35 languages in this region, and we feel very honored to be able to store all of this and hold it for communities.
What I find exciting is knowing that I can go back and listen to voices, to our elders that have already passed, and my mother is one of those people.
Right now, we're striving to do as many interviews with fluent Language 1 speakers as we can, because all of those really, really fluent speakers are in their 80s and 90s. So we need to capture as much of that as we can. So I think archiving for me is important.
I think First Voices, by them storing the language, they're the bank that you can go to, withdraw what you need from it, and it's being stored in a safe place.
That's the snow slide. Okay. From my perspective, the First Voices is a key ingredient in revitalizing language through the programs and services available.
Your language is your home. No matter where you are in the world. And now that it's more accessible in First Voices, the home is on your phone, it's on your laptop.
You know, we have had teams from all around the region working on First Voices and doing this important work, these language champions who are going into their work every day, you know, sitting with their speakers and their elders, documenting, digitizing, uploading the content. And they deserve to be celebrated too, just like how we want to celebrate sort of our end of things with the technology. Even more so, we want to celebrate the fact that First Voices wouldn't be anything without the work of these community teams.
I just wanted to raise my hands to First Voices and say thank you for all of the work that you've put in the last 20 years, for persisting and for listening and for picking up that torch and becoming really strong allies for the people of the land, the people of the language.
You're teaching them.
It's been an incredible gift to work in a field like this where, you know, I wasn't a linguist, I wasn't a technician, I just an elementary school teacher who shared an idea with John Elliott, and it's a huge gift to see it used now widely.
When I think about First Voices and how it's developed over the years and the progress that it's made, the changes that have been made, I feel pretty proud about it. I feel pretty proud to have been a part of it. And a lot of the times I can't really believe that it has come as far as it has.
When I think back 20 years ago and its development and, you know, people trying to figure out what to do and how to do it and how to go about it. And, you know, I think that it's such a good example of our people. Our people are always very resourceful. They've always taken what is available, created and developed it so that it's useful. That's what First Voices has been able to do. And I'm so happy that the story will be told.